Hello, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency, devoted to promoting musicians and authors worldwide. Call us today at 941-877-1552 to start your free publicity evaluation. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. Please welcome the host of Interviewing the Legends, music journalist, author, and entrepreneur, Ray Shasho.
Hello once again, everyone. I'm your host, Ray Shasho, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends on BBS Radio. This is a very special episode today. It's our very first show since Doug and Don Newsom, the owners of BBS Radio, endured the horrific event that destroyed their radio station, their home, and all their belongings. The entire town of Paradise, California, was basically wiped off the map by deadly wildfires. At least 88 people were killed, 15,573 structures destroyed, 11,713 residences, 472 commercial, and 3,388 other buildings. Doug and Don have a GoFundMe page, and so far have raised $27,942 of a $30,000 goal. They've maxed out credit cards to order the necessary equipment to get BBS running again. And miraculously, the station is up and running again at a remote location. They will officially be able to take interviews probably in a couple of days. Unfortunately, I lost 5 interviews because they were not yet aired. The last interview I did was with MASH icon Loretta Swit. Loretta was so very gracious to redo the interview that was lost because of the fire. And so today, I would like to welcome again to Interviewing the Legends on BBS Radio, a true champion of the animal kingdom and award-winning actress known for her iconic starring role on TV's most honored series, MASH, and of course her portrayal of Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan, for which she won 2 Emmys and worldwide acclaim. The beautiful, talented, and compassionate Loretta Swit. Welcome back, Loretta. Thank you for agreeing to do the redo again.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure, and I'm so sorry that we have to do it again, and what everyone's been through, it just is heartbreaking, and so anytime, I'm happy to talk to you anytime. We had such a lovely chat. I hope I can remember some of the things I said, but I look forward to talking to you again. It's not a hardship. You guys have had the hardships, and it just everyone is behind you, supporting you, and hurting for you. So just so that you all know that.
Thank you so much. You know, when I think of California, and when I first joined BBS, you know, I was thinking of L.A. and San Francisco and, you know, this little sleepy town of Paradise, California. I'd never thought anything like this could happen to a place like this, you know. You just never know.
This is true, which is why every day is so important.
It is.
You don't know.
Have you had any friends affected by the fire?
Well, my friend Jamie Farr was ousted from the canyon where he lived.
Really? I didn't know that.
And, Jamie and Joy had to grab a few things. I guess very few, because he jokingly, a couple of days later, said they had to go out and buy lingerie and underwear and, you know, like necessities.
Uh-huh.
And we're planning to do a podcast for Alan, and we put off the days because she didn't have a house to talk from, but he was blessed. He was fortunate. The fire was stopped just, I guess, moments before his house went up.
Oh, wow.
So we're very grateful, but it was horrific. It was just a terrible, terrible catastrophe for, our people, us, for us.
I found out too that a replica of the set of MASH was also
that also burnt. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking all around.
Yep.
But we're so tough. We're there. We're going to rebuild. We're going to get better. We're going to turn it around. Turn lemon into lemonade, because that's what we do.
Yep.
It's kind of the way we are. That's what Americans do. We're just a tough breed, and we rebuild.
Exactly. I came from a town in Maryland, and the town next to me, La Plata, Maryland, was hit with a Category 5 tornado, which destroyed the town, and they rebuilt, and it looks like 3 times better than it ever did. So
lemon into lemonade.
There you go.
Yeah. So we should be really proud of who we are. We're the right people to be friends with in a crisis.
I agree.
We know how to handle a crisis.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was Ronald Reagan that said if we were ever attacked by aliens, the whole world would gather together.
Yeah. Bless his heart. Yes, we would, and would fight them off, or we would repatriate them.
Exactly.
We would convert them to our way of life, and they'd be very happy here.
That's funny.
I was here in New York during 9/11.
Oh, really?
And I can tell you how the people just pulled together.
Mm-hmm.
It was a highlight in my life. This catastrophe became a proud highlight in my life to be a part of how the people around me handled it and pulled together. And there were no strangers on the street. Everybody was a brother and a sister. I've never seen anything like it before. The brotherhood of man, as a saying or an expression, became very real. Everybody was family, and everybody was looking out for the next person. You'd be standing in a grocery store if there was a line. You want to go? Are you in a hurry? You want to go before me? No, I'm fine. How are you? Where were you when it happened? Mm-hmm. Oh, really? And then did you? And how's and people were talking to each other, listening and talking and caring. It was a remarkable thing, and I just kept thinking, what a shame. It can't always be this kind of brotherly love.
I agree.
Just exist this way. It takes a terrible tragedy to make you realize how much we depend on each other, love each other, care for each other. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it was meant to be. But it isn't.
I agree.
And it took the lives of 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be. That was what was bad, terrible, awful. But to watch everybody cope and bond and care was amazing. Yeah. It was an amazing time. People coming in by trucks and from everywhere and setting up housekeeping sort of at the Javits Center and feeding the long line of firemen, policemen, search and rescue people, volunteers. People were just lining up And we with volunteers were there slinging hash, making burgers, feeding them. They'd go back out to Ground Zero or collapse inside the Javits Center for a quick nap. But the line just kept going. Each shift would take over. And you had these volunteers just in a never-ending line of trying to help. It was amazing. It was just beautiful, just so uplifting that we are capable, to see how capable we are of behaving like that and doing that.
You know,
anyway.
New Yorkers have always had that kind of mindset.
Yes,
yeah,
that streak.
Yep, they have.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We're just so tough. We're like a dog with a bone. Let go until we're gonna fix this, damn it, and it's gonna get fixed if it likes it or not.
That's right.
It's a very tenacious, wonderful, lovable quality. But again, when I was talking to Larry Gilbart about my experiences working with all these people, and he said, you must write this down because it's just so moving, so incredible, the experience.
That's right.
I was staying at a friend's apartment when this happened. I was doing a play, and I'm still living in California. So I was at her home, and she had a lovely little terrace overlooking the East Side Drive. And when we were attacked, the East Side Drive just sort of came alive with sirens and cars and fire trucks and black and whites, and it was just like a roar of this thing that had happened. And in a few hours, I walked out on the terrace, and right down the block, there were American flags on every terrace and fire escape. They just went up
just like that.
Dominoes, like dominoes. This is who we are.
Yep.
You don't do this to us.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And an acquaintance of mine didn't quite get it. She said, "Oh, I think that's wrong. It'll look like we're at war." And I said, "My dear, we are.
Yeah.
We are. We've just been attacked.
Yeah.
And these people want everybody to know which side we stand for."
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Anyway, so I called Pat, my girlfriend, whose apartment it was. You know, the great actress Patricia Neal.
Yep.
And I said, "I'm putting up a flag," and she said, "You do that, honey. You absolutely do that." And I told her to stay put where she was. She was on the Cape in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I said, "You stay put. I'll hang in here at the fort." And when I went to Ground Zero, I asked them to give me a hard hat for Pat too. I had one. I had a hard hat. I had 22 IDs hanging from my neck.
Right.
And I got her a hard hat, said Pat. And I left it for her in her apartment because thanks to her, I was there and I was part of it. Anyway, I have very strong memories of, as I call it, the brotherhood of man.
Right.
Those moments, those days were just terrific, just amazing.
Loretta, you've done so much for the our troops. So much for the profession, the medical profession. And I was, hunting around, and I noticed how you got involved with R. Adams Cowley.
I'm sorry? I don't know this.
With R. Adams Cowley, the Shock Trauma Center in University of Maryland.
Oh, yes, sure, yes, Yes, what about that?
What
happened?
Well, I know you were involved. He's, of course, the founder of the shock trauma unit, and I guess he was called the father of shock trauma or something like that. He was one of the pioneers. Yeah, and you were involved somehow back in the 80s, right? With that whole.
It was probably because of my involvement with POWs or infantrymen coming back from any situation of crisis, and the soldier dogs as well, which we're still doing work with. They come back with PTSD, and we're learning more and more about how to cope and how to help our guys.
Yeah.
It's a very real situation where you don't take these heroes out of that environment and just thrust them back into society, which they did during the Second World War. The prisoners of war in Japan, 2-3 years, some of them, came back and were totally disoriented, to say the least. They had no place. They couldn't cope at all. Many of them killed themselves.
Yeah.
They could not re-enter reality, the reality of our society. And so, but we've learned a great deal from institutions like that. But yes, these soldiers, these heroes, I call them, come back damaged psychologically, and they need our help. And that's I'm still very deeply involved in that with the canine troops. Canine teams, trying to bring them back together when it's possible, and trying to get back some of the soldier dogs that have been left behind.
Right.
They still have a tour of duty left over, so they can help us here. We have programs of retired veterans that are training dogs to give to veterans who come back. They're just all ready to take care of veterans. I've seen videos of a veteran having a nightmare, a PTSD nightmare, and I've seen the dog climb onto the bed, gently waking him, consoling him. Yeah, and I'll have you in tears in a couple of seconds. I mean, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot, and I'm always into the education of reminding people how bonded we are to our dogs, our canines. What they do for us, and we can't possibly give back to them. But it's a start. I mean, if we can, these dogs who come back, these battle-weary dogs, can be treated, can re-enter, and they can still serve. They continue to serve. They become service dogs, and they help retired veterans. They helped. I mean, I have a photo from, there's a wonderful group called ARF, which is funny, ARF. It's Animal Rescue Foundation. And there's this kind of burly, bulky, robust Marine who is standing with his dog, and he's saying, "At night when the demons come, I'm not alone."
Oh.
So, yeah, I know. I tell stories sometimes I can't get through without a clutch in my throat and a pain in my heart. But the upside is it's working. We're doing things. We're helping, and that's my main project right now. Is Sweethearts Animal Alliance. We're allied with a lot of great groups that are doing amazing work to rectify that situation. Anyhow, it's very takes up my life, which I'm happy to give. It takes up my time and my charity. That's my main project right now. I call it Comrades in Arms, and At 9/11, I would watch the search and rescue teams come back, and this wonderful company sent pads for the dogs' feet. They were getting burnt, searching the rubble, and this company created these socks, these pads for the dogs to wear.
Huh.
I've watched the guys eat, and the dog just sits there waiting calmly for his turn. It's a remarkable experience, and we do it, and we did it. We do it, and we keep getting better.
Yeah.
So it's very, very encouraging to me to see the results of good work, to see what's happening. And I feel the same way strongly about situation in California and bouncing back.
Mm-hmm. Besides dogs, I know they're also using horses to help veterans as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And digressing for a second, we have monkeys now helping the blind.
Really?
They're seeing eye hands.
Right.
They're helping hands. We are animals. We're human animals, but we are animals.
Right.
We have instincts. They have instincts. We network differently, but we are bonded in a way that is becoming a little more obvious as we continue on our lives.
Right.
And we are bonded together. I'm doing a painting right now from book 2.
Oh, really?
And it's a painting of Harley, who is the battle dog soldier partner to my friend in the he's a Marine,
right?
Chris Van Etten, and Chris waited to be reunited with Harley for 7 months, and even after losing both legs in a night action, he said to me, "The 7 months waiting for Harley to come home were the most painful months."
I can imagine. I can imagine.
That will give you an indication of the bonding.
Yeah.
It's just remarkable.
Well, it's the same, when they bring the dogs to the nursing homes. I mean...
Oh, yes.
What a change, And
AMA has said for years it's absolutely the best medicine there is. They can't do as much as those working animals who come into the homes, climb up on the beds.
Right.
And, my mom was at the Motion Picture Home, California, and she had 3 dogs there. They came a couple of times a week, just running around the wards, hopping on beds, licking faces, and truly, it is that kind of love.
Yep.
At that stage in people's lives, sometimes it's the only drop of love they're getting.
I agree.
And it's enormous. Well, you have widows, widowers.
Right.
You have families that have been separated. So the mother is in this home, and the son is working in Ohio. She's in California, and he can't get there more than twice a year, 3 times a year, or whatever. And so you have a terrible loneliness, as well as the aging process and whatever aches and pains that come with that. And then you suddenly have this friend hopping on your bed and licking your face, and it means the world. Yep. On the same note, when AIDS first surfaced, you didn't have any medical people eager to get too close to this problem that they didn't understand, they didn't know anything about.
Right.
The only drop of love the AIDS victims were getting at that point in time was from animals, was from dogs, not caring about infection or disease, or just being there, sitting on the lap, kissing, licking, being there. And it meant everything to these people.
Like you, I'm a huge animal lover. I've always been. We've always had dogs. I volunteer at the Humane Society. I've helped them out a few times. I went...
Yeah, people don't realize how much help they can be without being totally involved the way I am.
Exactly, yeah.
They can volunteer at an SPCA and just walk a dog once a week for an hour. Walk another dog for another hour, whatever. Because it's important to keep those animals out there, socialized, feeling like who they are. And but there's so much that you can do aside from writing out a check, which is great. I'm not knocking donations, but there's a lot of hands-on things you can do that people don't know about. We need to also help stamp out every puppy mill, kitten mill in our country. It's a blight, a pimple on the face of our society. So stuff like that. We need to educate. Education, Actors and Others for Animals, where I'm vice president. That's California. It's national, but we're based in California. Our main thrust always is educating, because if we don't start spaying and neutering, we don't understand how important that is. We will continue to be in the euthanasia business. We will continue to murder animals, millions every year, because there are no homes for them. So when you have a horrible situation here with puppy mills, where the conditions are despicable and terrible, and they turn out sick animals. These animals are not properly vetted. It's terrible. It's a terrible situation. They keep using these dogs to like baby factories, and they sell them to stores, to puppy stores, dog stores, and whatever. So we need to get after that whole system. And people need to know they need to rescue animals. Never, ever buy them. You buy an animal, you have condemned at least 5 animals in rescue.
That's true.
But you see, you only know what you know. So part of what we do is educate. We tell a woman that 80 animals died indiscriminately to make one coat. And that woman goes into Bloomingdale's or Saks or somewhere, and she goes to that department and sees dozens of coats hanging there, and she does the math. And I credit my gender with a lot of compassion, with a lot of feeling. And she does the math, and she says, well, that's not for me. I don't do that anymore. I'm not. That fur belongs on the animal that was born with. And so that's but it's a question of just getting the information out there. And very often, not too often, but you'll hear, I don't want to know, don't tell me. They don't want to hear about the pain. They don't want to hear about the truth of the matter. And we're able to say, yes, you see, it's so wrong, it's so painful, you can't even listen to us. You can't even hear the truth. So, because once you absorb the truth, the facts, you'll act on it. I trust that spirit in people. I trust that they know what's right.
Well, we get reminders on Facebook all the time. There are people that, do post those tragedies and show all the, the suffering and things like that. And it just makes you mad, It makes you so upset. Especially the hunters, that kill giraffes and things like that for sport. That just makes me, oh man.
It's but you stop, you investigate the character of that person. What's he trying to prove? They have canned hunts, for example, where literally some guy who has a macho problem, I guess, pays $5,000, $10,000 or whatever to put a bullet in an animal who is virtually domesticated, an old, beautiful-looking lion who's just lying there in the sun, and this bravado, and because he wants a trophy.
That's it.
Well, that kind of tells a lot to us about who this person is or was, or But I do, again, I have faith in human nature, in us. I believe in us, and I think little by little we're getting it.
I think so. Well, the Sweetheart Animal Alliance mission to prevent cruelty and animal suffering is your nonprofit organization. It's doing
501c3. Yes.
Wonderful.
They get the book is on sale. You can Sweetheart.com will bring up the website.
Yep.
We've got this wonderful book, and it's a collection of my art, some of my art. Mostly it's animal portraits, because that's what I'm all about. And it is really a kind of journey through some of my artwork and my animal activism. I talk about certain organizations that people can help do things. And you can, after you buy the book, if you fall in love with one of the paintings, or two or three, you can ask me to do clay prints of these. You can buy those. You can buy originals too, but I'm giving you a break with the price. Originals go between $1,500 to $3,000, depending on the size, the work, and so forth. But a clay print of that same picture will be $500, $600, $700, $800, $900, but it's a lot less. And it looks, these clay prints, a process that they do in this great printing house in New York, and it truly looks like an original, if that's your bent. Some people really love to collect original paintings, but these look like originals. They just look like originals. And so we have many, many areas of fundraising. If you're in the humane environment, that's basically what you know. You need money all the time. You're always begging, begging for money or doing fundraising to raise money. And but again, my faith in people is well founded. People find a way to come forth and give. I was the Grand Marshal at the Veterans Day Parade in Phoenix, Arizona this year. I was last year too. This year I told them I was going to walk the streets, going from side to side, collecting money for my organization to go towards bringing back some dogs from Afghanistan.
Wow! And
children were running to me with their quarters and dimes. And I mean, little kids, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids giving me change. Or they were painting beautiful little gifts for the military, thanking them. Thank you for your service. I mean, they were taught the language, but they knew what they were saying.
Sure.
And that just, it underscores my faith, because these kids are being brought up with that mindset. They already know at that age what our soldiers, what our military does.
That's very important. And very, very important.
Yes. Oh, indeed.
Yep. Well, the book is 65 full-color paintings and drawings, 22 photographs. The proceeds of the book are donated to charities and programs that are dedicated to ending animal suffering and cruelty.
Actually, no. The proceeds go into Sweetheart Animal Alliance. Okay. And then they're spread out. Yes. Okay, good. I mean, I give just recently my beautiful Bidewee, the oldest shelter in New York City. They placed a bulldog, a baby bulldog, was not a year old. They placed him almost immediately. He was a charmer. But they do everything. They spay, neuter, they vet the dogs, they socialize them. Then they find forever loving homes for their charges. They do not get returns. Okay. Nobody brings the animals back.
Right.
By the time you've gotten that animal, he's family already. They take great care in how they matrimony these things, how the people come in, they play with the dogs, and they know that they've got a match. They know they've got a marriage, you know. Anyway, so in that case, I will, Swit Hearts will write a check for $200, let's say, to Bide a Wee for doing that work. And so the monies, when I say my main project right now focuses on the canine teams, it does.
Right.
And in all different ways, they give money towards those programs that are re-socializing the animals or that are rebonding the animal with a different soldier, a new soldier. That takes time. They're sent out as a team to work together, to learn how to work together. Again, making this marriage, this bonding. So it all boils down to the dollars and cents. Always,
sure.
Always. It's about from puppy to from a puppy and a shelter dog to a service dog. Is about $6,000.
Really? Huh.
Roughly yes. The training, yes.
Wow.
Because you've got two guys there, the puppy and the soldier, somebody from the military, or a vet. We have a program, Pets for Purple Hearts for Pets.
Okay.
That program has a veteran training a dog to be a service dog, and then matching it to a vet who is wanting a service dog, and then that team goes into training together. It's a win-win situation.
Sure.
It's vets helping service dogs.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it is. It's so we've come a long, long way in helping our boys, our guys.
The photos, your paintings are beautiful, and
thank you.
And they're watercolor, which to me is probably the hardest thing to do. But you've conquered it.
It is, but I didn't know that. I always tell people I was functioning on the bumblebee theory. you know what that is. The bumblebee, aeronautically, the bumblebee is not supposed to be able to fly.
Right.
His body's too heavy. The wingspan is not wide enough. But the bumblebee doesn't know that, so it goes ahead and flies anyway. So I had no idea.
It's amazing.
I fell into using the hardest medium there was, the most difficult medium there was. And right now, oils scare me. I don't want to change, so that's it. I do watercolors. That's my thing. And people go, wow, why do you do watercolors? It's so hard. Don't say that to me. Don't scare me. Don't tell me. I've been doing it for years.
Leave me alone. It's working.
Yes, just like working with wild animals, as I did a series called Those Incredible Animals, and I worked with some pretty daunting species, but I didn't know that at the time. I just went ahead and had fun,
Yeah. Now your book is available on Amazon, Amazon.com.
I'm not sure. Last time we checked, they were out of books, so
really?
I'm happy to say.
Oh, they'll restock.
I have to renegotiate, I guess. And they are available on my website. Just get over to sweetheart.com, or I'm on social media. You can get me on anywhere, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Just say, Loretta, looking for your book, can't find it. Where are you? We'll fix it up. We'll be thrilled to get you a book.
I'll announce all the links after the interview's over to everybody to make sure they have all the information.
Please.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I say sweetheart.com is the website, which has been under construction. We're adding new things to the to what's available. Some items that we want to have, fundraising items that T-shirts and
Terrific.
blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So we've been in construction now, but I think it'll still come up, and you can still say, hey, where's the book?
Yeah.
something rude,
I'd love to see a MASH T-shirt with your name in the back, or Major Houlihan in the back. I think a lot of nurses would buy that.
One of the great, most wonderful homage I have received has been from nurses. The young people who have said to me they became a nurse because of Margaret Houlihan.
Yep.
Yeah, I cannot begin to tell you how that makes me feel. And some out there, I'll get a note. I'll never meet this person, and I have affected, or Margaret has affected this woman's life. This woman's career has been affected by this character in MASH, and there is no greater compensation that I can get, that I can have. There's no, you know what I'm saying? I'm running out of words.
Sure.
You cannot imagine how satisfying and gratifying you feel. Like, my God, how wonderful that's happened.
Well, my wife's a retired nurse. She's been a nurse for 35, 40 years. We have a lot of nurses in the family, and my wife loves you. Number one, you're a very strong woman character, which is awesome.
Yes.
You didn't take any crap from anybody, especially from Hawkeye. And
you better believe it.
Yeah, but you loved Hawkeye in the show. I can tell.
Yes, indisputably. And also loved him in real life.
Yes.
We are one big family. We really are. And as our numbers dwindle, we have become more and more bonded, because life becomes, again, more and more precious. And we're going to be doing a podcast with Alan. Alan has a podcast. You possibly know that.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. So Gary and Mike and Jamie and I are going to be doing a podcast.
Excellent.
Yes. We'll be doing it January 9th, I believe. But I think they're going to film it as well.
Oh, great.
So, I just dropped a note to the guys. I said, oh, that's great. I thought I was going to be doing radio. I can put my feet up. I can chew gum. I can make faces. Now you're telling me I'm going to be on film. I have to make up. I have to look good. I have to, but okay. Anything to be with the guys.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mike was on BBS Radio not that long ago, maybe about a month ago.
Yes. Was he talking about the death penalty?
Probably. He was on another show, not my show, but another show. But so I've been looking for Gary and also Klinger. Jamie, yeah, because Jamie's Lebanese, and I've got my father's family was from Syria.
Really?
So I think we'd hit it off.
Yes, Jamie is Lebanese, and he put Toledo on the map.
Yes, he did.
He did. He put Paco's hot dogs on the map. He's very nationalistic, very devoted to Toledo, and very, he had $1 million golf tournament in his name. I mean, Jamie, all the guys are amazing, unique specimens. They each have been so formidable in their causes, in their humanity.
Yep.
That's why we're family. We all.
Yeah.
I'm an honorary board member of Ayla's Acres, which is a lovely shelter in Florida, and we have a yearly fundraiser. One's coming up in February, and the boys. I really should say guys. I mean, women don't like being called girls, but anyway, the guys came. Gary and Jamie and Mike came to support the fundraiser, and no mean feat, flying to Florida when you're busy, you drop things and you come and help Loretta. And Ed Asner also came by and helped raise a lot of money for my sweet little shelter.
Fantastic.
Yes, yep. But we do that for each other. We've always been extremely supportive. McLean Stevenson was the first MASH person to win a very big award. It was the Golden Globe.
Right.
And he asked me if I would accept it for him. So, we have always been that way to each other. Wayne Rogers was and still is my business manager. His company is still my business management company. But Wayne took care of me, financially, just took me on as and that's unique, because usually when you're in a work situation, you're careful about what you sort of, you don't mix this with that. But we did. We all did. We're personally loving and involved, and still can do business, and it's just very unique, very amazing, this family.
Well, you know why? Because you're real people. There is a lot of people in Hollywood that, they don't know what the real world's all about, unfortunately. Which is true, But you guys are real people.
Yeah, we are indeed.
Yeah,
we are indeed. Take somebody like Bill Christopher, Bill and Barbara Christopher. Bill, I used to say, Bill was the quintessential priest.
He was.
I honestly felt Bill Christopher brought people back to the church.
I think you're right.
Father Mulcahy, you wanted him to be your priest. He was such a human being. He wasn't holier than thou. He wasn't even holy. He just was a human being who cared about people and believed in what he believed in. He didn't try to convince you otherwise. He just took care of you and he gave himself to you, and it was a terrible blow to lose Bill. It was sudden, it was shocking, it was but of course, the kind of family we are, Barbara is very much a member of our family. So Barbara Christopher is still in our family, you see, and that's just how it is. We're family.
Well, you guys are wonderful. All of you are very, very intelligent people. I did see Wayne. I think he was on Fox News when he was really into investing stocks, and he was trying to give pointers to people.
He was a Mensa.
Yeah, he was all of a sudden. I said, "Wow, where did this come from?" This.
It's the best business manager anybody could have.
Wow, he was awesome.
I'm no dummy. Hey, Wayne, please. No, And a delightful man too, a sweet, dear, delightful man. Crazy about him.
Yeah, it is sad though to see all. It's I interview a lot of rock legends, and you know what's going on with those guys. They're all dropping out. Like flies. And it is very sad to see the MASH crew. So many of them have gone.
Yes, yes. It's very hard.
Yeah.
It's very. David, of course, we've been into preparing for our losses. We knew, for example, that David Ogden was ill.
Right.
So we were kind of with him during his course of illness, but you never really fortified for the loss. You really, even if you know daily he's slipping away, but each loss has been a body blow.
Yeah. And Alan Arbus, I mean, he was 95. I didn't know he was that old.
You believe? I know. How can you be that? Yeah. Alan was just... What a lovely man, oh God. Again, you look at that casting. Was there ever a more humane psychiatrist? I mean, he was just so perfect, and that dry sense of humor, the readings that he gave. Jeez. Oh, we loved him so. Oh, he was... I tell you, the producers really... they were working miracles with the casting to get Mike Farrell to step into the slot in the swamp, for example, and the chemistry between Mike and Alan. It just really so miraculous, so special.
And just the transitions, from different colonels, and then Mike coming in. It's amazing, isn't it?
But the thing is, it brought everybody adrenaline.
Yeah.
In other words, it was you had to, because we were so real, we were making adjustments to the new personalities, and certainly when you have a new commanding officer, there are adjustments you're going to have to make.
Right.
I mean, the way McLean played the commanding officer as opposed to the 30-year man we got with Harry. We didn't know what to expect. This guy was military. This guy was Army. Was he going to be a tough commander? Was he going to be one of the guys? Was he, and it gave so much room to evolution. All the characters to evolve together in these relationships. Harry certainly became one of the guys, even though he stayed the father figure.
Right.
He stayed in command. He was in command, and it was glorious to watch the evolution of these characters. It became a tapestry, a history of behavior.
I know you and Harry were close, but Gary and Harry were very close as well, right? In real life?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
We were all really close to Harry.
Right.
I probably was closest. He and his wife and I would, run around on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing with the MASH people. We saw each other when we didn't have to. It wasn't just going to work.
Isn't that unusual?
It was very unusual, of course. You think by Friday you've had your fill.
Right.
So we couldn't get enough of each other, so to speak. Yeah, it was genuine. It's just that simple. We didn't pretend to like somebody. And what was unusual was that it all clicked. Everybody kind of clicked in. It wasn't like, well, I like him better than if you had to take a poll, you would everybody would say Harry was their favorite, because that's where Harry's slot was. That we all looked to Harry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was our father figure, and we all loved him. And he had so much to give: his humor, his wisdom, his experience, and his humanity. You know, Harry said that actually about the show. In an interview, somebody asked him if MASH had made him a better actor.
Right.
He said, "I don't know about that, but I know it's made me a better person."
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Well, you know, the values, the production values, the script,
Mm-hmm.
what we were saying and how we worked together, it did. I think it affected all of us in that direction. The values, the standards were very high, and we were able to tackle issues that were valuable. And it was. We could babysit families. The family could feel safe with the kids watching MASH.
Right. The medical knowledge was outstanding, you know?
We adopted a shell. We had bolted a shell on the set most of the time. Certainly every time when we were in the OR. We also had a lovely nurse who died during the series, but Connie Isaiah, she was wonderful, always helping out me, and actually the head nurse very seldom assisted. We did that because we were shorthanded, because we were overcome with patients. But usually she's running around barking orders. But Connie taught us a lot about how to assist during an operation. Yeah.
I used to pick up my wife when she worked at Alexandria Hospital in Virginia. She was a ICU nurse.
Yeah.
And I used to sit in the emergency room because I used to wait for her because she used to get off the 11 o'clock shift, and it'd be like 12 o'clock midnight. So while waiting for her, there was back-to-back MASH episodes at nighttime. So I would watch MASH waiting for her in the emergency room to pick her up.
Oh, my God.
So you're like family, too.
You were really mashed.
I was mashed. I've watched every episode, I don't know how many times, like everybody else.
Yes.
I saw Alan Alda do an interview once, and they were talking about the episode as time goes by with the thing that goes in the ground. What do you call that?
Oh, yes, we had I was going to say a missile. It was, I know what you mean. Now
you can't think of it now either, can you?
Yeah. Oh, gee, we buried it. Yeah. Capsule.
The time capsule.
Yeah. And but they did a lot of reconstruction and changing in Fox. They probably found it and just threw it away. They didn't know.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
But, yeah, I know. Yeah, I put my lovely little Japanese robe in that cap. Well, I should have kept it.
Was Radar's teddy bear in there?
Yes, absolutely.
You know how much money that would have been worth on eBay?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
Well, I'm so glad we had a chance to reconnect. I'm sorry why we had to reconnect.
I know.
But things are just going to get better. That's all. And we have to believe that. Things are going to get better. They're going to get rebuilt, and they're going to be okay. Better than okay.
I think you're right. And I like, Don and Doug and Don's attitude is wonderful after all this was over. They didn't even have time to pack a toothbrush, is what they said, because it was moving so fast.
Jamie said the same thing.
Yeah. But
Jamie and Joy,
when is the second book coming out?
Oh my gosh! Oh, please don't do that. It's not begun to be finished. I only have if I'm going to do another 35, 40 pages, I have about half
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It writes easily, but I want to just setting like the centerfold. I want always to be photographs.
Right.
And I lost my cat this year, January 31st. One of my cats died.
Huh.
And this is okay. 18. He was going to be 18. He had a long, very happy, loving, wonderful life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's painful to lose him, but he was in my arms. You know, we were both okay with it, you know. And so I want to do an homage. He was such a special cat. Oh, gosh. What a scamp. What a clown. I've got these pictures of him on my back. And, I mean, he was very, very special. And so I thought we would do an homage, some paintings that I did of him, some sketches, and then photographs of him being that little rogue he was. And so, but that takes time to put together and you know, set up and so forth. But it's basically going to be similar in thought. The book will be, again, a progression of the first book, including now the new Comrades in Arms project, talking a lot about those particular organizations and the allied, you know, the alliances and so forth. So, but it's going to be, well, I guess next year. You know, I aim for next year, which is that's not a far aim.
Right around the corner.
We're into New Year's Eve practically, but probably the end of next year.
Well,
hopefully sooner.
Take your time with it, enjoy it. You know, that's the main thing. You know, enjoy painting. And of course, you got Play the Flute is a new movie that you'll be in, right?
That's right. It's a new genre that is new to me. It's called a faith movie.
Right.
And that seemed appropriate for me to be involved with. And it's a lovely script, and it was a very lovely part. I play this young girl's aunt, and she has a speech impediment. And I'm supportive. I get her to hang on to her faith that there's a place for her in this world wherein she can use her impediment, where she can influence people to have faith because she does.
Right.
She has. And so it's quite lovely, and it's starting to show in that they have certain art houses, I guess, that do faith films. So I'm happy about that. Very happy about that.
Is the movie out?
As far as I know, it's come out, yes.
Okay, great.
But again, these are special screenings.
Right,
you know,
right.
They won't be at Lowe's or, you know. And I'm going to be shooting another movie at the beginning of the year.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's called Birds of Paradise, and it's a romantic comedy, and it's just lovely. I'm looking forward to that. It's a lovely, funny, warm script. It's just got a lot of juice. Just fun, and I think about it, I'm smiling. So it's the kind of romantic comedy you want to do.
Oh, that'll be perfect. The romantic comedies are wonderful, and those are great movies to watch with my wife.
Yeah, that's nice. You keep doing that. That's nice.
She loves them, so whatever makes her happy, you know.
Well, if it makes her happy, I presume it makes you happy.
It makes me happy. If she's happy, I'm happy.
You free a man, you free a woman.
That's right.
You make a man happy, you make a woman happy, and vice versa. And that's what's so great about the genders. That's what we should be talking about. Not how different we are, but how similar we are.
I agree.
Good.
I agree.
You're my kind of guy.
Loretta, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Entirely my pleasure, and it was a great fun chatting with you.
It's always fun chatting with you.
God bless, and keep the faith.
I will, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thanks. Same back at you.
All right, Loretta. Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye. For more information about Loretta Swit, visit www.facebook.com/RealLorettaSwit. And also www.ultimatesymbol.com/Sweetheart. You can purchase Sweetheart, the watercolor artistry and animal activism of Loretta Swit by Loretta Swit. Should be available now on Amazon.com, or you can purchase it on her website. Sweetheart chronicles the artwork of TV icon Loretta Swit, a true champion of the animal kingdom, watercolorist, award-winning animal activist, and actress. Miss Swit is renowned for her starring role on TV's most honored series, MASH, for which she won 2 Emmys and worldwide acclaim. With many fans may not know about the multi-talented thespian is that Miss Swit has been an artist from age 6. Sweetheart documents her animal portraits along with descriptive anecdotes about each and her extensive philanthropic work. Miss Swit said, "I am thrilled to see my passion for animals and my passion for art merge in a book that will help benefit and protect the animals on our planet." Sweetheart includes 65 full-color paintings and drawings, as well as 22 photographs, and proceeds from the book will be donated to charities and programs that are as dedicated as Miss Swit is to ending animal suffering and cruelty. Very special thanks today to B. Harlan Vole, Public Relations, Classic Hollywood's publicist, for arranging this interview with Loretta Swit. And, of course, the dynamic duo of Doug and Don Newsom of BBS Radio for making the magic happen for each and every broadcast of Interviewing the Legends. If you have comments or suggestions for the show, contact me at interviewingthelegends@gmail.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel Interviewing the Legends with Ray Shasho for the very latest interviews. It's real news, people. Also, don't forget to purchase a copy of my book entitled Check the G's, the true story of an eclectic American family and their wacky family business, available now at Amazon.com. And I promise you will live it. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to Interviewing the Legends. Brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call 941-877-1552 or visit us at publicityworksagency.com, specializing in author and music artist publicity plans. We shine when we make you shine. Tune in to Interviewing the Legends every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time on BBS Radio, Station 1.